I'm Tyler, and this is my heart and soul story. I grew up in Knoxville most of my life. I grew up in a lot of low-income areas for the majority of my life. We slowly bounced around, going from kind of the hood areas over to the not-so-bad areas, all the way moving up to where we're at now in Bearden. I got involved in a lot of bad things with the people I kind of ran around with, drugs, other crime, drag racing, you name it. I was involved in it. Didn't really have a very strong church upbringing. My parents weren't involved in church very much. We didn't even go on like Christmas and Easter. But I didn't really get in church until I was in about middle school. I got invited by a girl who asked me if I wanted to go to the beach with her church. When she invited me, I said, yeah, I can't afford to go to the beach. I don't have any money. She said, no, the church will pay for it. And I was like, sweet, yeah, I will go. And so I went, and when I showed up at the church, they said, hey, we've got this fun for you. We're going to send you to the beach. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go to this beach trip. At that trip, they gave me a Bible that I went home with. That was the only Bible I really had. I wound up moving out when I was in high school. And my mom called me one day and said, hey, I want you to come get your trophies. And I was like, okay, cool. In that same closet with my trophies was that Bible that I got from when I was in 6th grade. I got that Bible and I went home. I don't know what happened, but I just started bawling my eyes out, and then I started reading that Bible. That moment was what changed my life. Before I left to go to the beach, I had already had my spring break trip planned that year. I then went on that trip with full intentions of doing everything I had planned. A lot of drinking, drugs, trying to find any kind of girls that I could hang out with down there. And when I got down there, the only thing I wanted to do was tell people about Jesus. When I got down there, that's how I met my beautiful bride, Caroline. She was cuckoo crazy. And we came back. I did not want to hang out with her. And then I finally decided to go hang out with her. That night, I went over to her house, and she was trying to get a little freaky, and I said, hey, let me grab something. And I actually grabbed my Bible and started reading it to her. That was actually the moment that changed her life as well. And from that moment on, we just started getting plugged into church. I had heard that you had to sign this document that said you were gonna agree to give them money every week. And in my head, I was like, why would I give the church money? And then Caroline explained to me what tithing was. Tithing was something that I never knew about. I didn't understand really until Caroline explained it to me. And that was something that I didn't understand, coming from such a low income, very poor background, of why that was important. I thought, what difference does my money make? I remember one time they did this big offering that was coming up, and they said, hey, we want you to pray about it, and find a number that you feel you're comfortable giving. Well, me and Caroline, we split our time, and I came up with my number and she came up with hers, and then we were going to come together and meet. Well, my number was about a third of what Caroline came up with. So when she told me her number, I was like, all right, well, I can't back down now. So we gave that money, and when we gave that was the majority of all the money we had. And I thought to myself, I don't know how we're going to make our house payment. I don't know how we're going to pay our bills, all these dues that we had coming up. We gave it, we came back home, and I actually opened the mailbox the next day. And when I opened that mailbox, there was a letter in there from one of her dad's old friends that said, hey, this was about 6 months after we got married. He said, hey, I hope you have a happy marriage. And there was a check in there for the exact amount that we just gave to that offering. That for me was life-changing. That showed me that my finances are incomparable to what the Lord can do in our life. Like, I can give and give and give, and He's not concerned with the number, but He's really concerned with the heart. I used to look at my money it's my money, and I'm giving it to the Lord. As I started studying Scripture, something that I really learned is every bit of income that I've earned is because of Him, and really 100% of it's God's. He allows me to manage 90% of it. So that first 10%, that's already, it's not a question of, do I give that to the Lord? That's already comes off. Like, that's His. He's blessed me with the finances that He's given me, so automatically He gets that first fruits. Everything that we're in right now, this high school, all this stuff you see, it all comes from money. That money is not the root of everything, but money buys the things that we need to reach people. It pays for the ads. It pays for the space. Like, the school doesn't just give us this high school. Like we have to rent it from them. We got to pay the lights. We have to pay the bills. all this drapery that you see, all the sound that you hear, the coffee that you drank this morning, like all of that ties into we have to pay for that as a church. That's who pays for it. It's not me, it's not you, it's not one individual person, it's the church that pays for that. And in order to do that, we need finances. And you know, you hear a lot of times like, hey, when are you going to get a building? Hey, when are we going to do this? When are we going to have these extra things? And really, if we want a building, we can only move at that speed of which people are willing to give for us to fund that building. If we want this extra area for a different type of ministry, we can only move at the speed at which people are willing to give to fund that. Something that I think is really cool that you get to be a part of with this upcoming legacy offering, you may think that a small dollar amount may not be very much, but I'm here to tell you, like, every little bit counts. Anything from $1, you know, up to, it doesn't matter if it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you contribute, you become part of building a greater story. That dollar can help contribute to a life change. Your dollar may go to the $1 car wash that we do, that somebody comes into that has their car washed, given that dollar that you gave, that now comes to know the Lord. And you can be a part of that, no matter how big or how small. So I know personally, just in my life, I don't come from a lot of finances, a lot of money. Like, we did not grow up with that. The Lord, when Caroline and I met the Lord and we started trusting Him with every area of our life, finances included, I could see Him start building something that I never had before. I think because I was faithful with what He was giving me, because I trusted in Him, He then blessed me with more. I think it ties directly to the story of the talents. And I just want to encourage everybody, like, whatever God's given you, use that and feel blessed with it and use it to do more. And I'm so thankful for what He's already given me, but more so, I'm thankful for what I know is going to come. I want to continue to be faithful to the Lord with what He's given me, and I'm so excited to see how that translates to our future moving forward. I'm Tyler, and that was my heart and soul story.